Well, I think the most important is treating people the way you want to be treated. I mean, I treat my team members like I treat my clients and how I would want to be treated. They're very important to me and to my business. And they know that. I make sure and tell them. I truly believe in giving them the tools. Like if they are interested, I have some people obviously that specialize in Pinterest or they specialize in, SEO in general. Um, I provide them with training that I
Mhm.
think would be, they would be interested in. I want to see them grow and really, I want them to like their job.
Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Kristy Yoder, host of the Master Delegator Podcast. The Master Delegator Podcast is for busy and overwhelmed entrepreneurs who want to learn how to become effective in the area of delegation and learn how to hire great virtual assistants to help them scale their business and have more time and freedom. If you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing and don't forget to click the notification bell so you get notified every time I post a new video. All right, let's get started. Hey everyone, in today's episode, I have a podcast guest. Her name is Linda Barutha. She's an online entrepreneur running a marketing agency with a team of six. She's also quite passionate about leadership and team building. Health and wellness professionals seek Linda out for her SEO first framework for online marketing. Her team multiplies your messaging to simplify your life. Linda is an online marketing strategist with 25 plus years in corporate IT and 20 years of entrepreneur experience. When she isn't helping her clients and leading her team, she can be found sipping some iced tea and watching her favorite baseball team or reading a vampire romance novel. All right, so let's welcome Linda. Hey, Linda, thank you so much for coming to the show today. Thank you for showing up today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So I read your bio and I also went to your website and it looks like you are doing such an amazing job. I read testimonies from your previous clients and actually one of them is somebody that I know, Jordan. I
Oh,
forget her last name.
Jordan Gill.
Yeah. So
Mm,
I'm actually connected to her on Instagram. So when I saw her on your website, I was like, oh, we actually have a connection. So
yeah.
yeah, I am so curious to know about your SEO first framework. So can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. Well, years ago when I was decided that I really needed to master marketing online because I came from a background of I used to have a brick and mortar, and that's 100% different from, you're dealing with people face to face. It's so much
Right.
easier, right? But to figure out the mystery of how to gain visibility for your business online, um, what happened is looked at what other people were doing, and it seemed like very out of my comfort zone, right? Like I didn't want to be an influencer. I didn't want to be having to show up on social media, Facebook and Instagram all the time. I just was like, oh, that just does not work for me. I tried numerous times having building a Facebook group, and I would get a couple hundred people in there, and I felt like I was talking to myself. Like they just don't respond and you don't get the interaction. And it made me always feel bad about myself, right? And when you're an entrepreneur, you have got to keep your spirits up. You cannot be doing things that make you feel horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So every time I tried it and I ended up shutting it down. So what happened is I discovered um, the power of SEO. And the way I look at it is it's really the way the internet was originally designed for you to find places, people, things, right? So the whole concept's pretty simple, which is keywords.
Yep.
Putting in the keywords that people are going to use when they're looking for what it is that you have to offer. And that just keeps compounding, right? The more people find you, the more traffic you get to your website, the more often you're going to show up in the higher rankings for Google.
Right.
And so to me, it was like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. Like I need to figure this out more. How can I use more SEO and not these other strategies, right? So that's where I started with the SEO first framework.
Wow. So did you name it SEO first because you are focused on SEO and not other paid ads? I-
Right,
Is it
right.
like you saying SEO first before anything else?
Yeah, because to me, it's all about the combination of working smarter, not harder, and also setting up yourself for longevity, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I see there's like one person in particular who I actually know very well, but she is a hustler. Like I get stressed every time I see a post from her because I feel that energy where she is continually like, got to make the sale, got to make the sale, got to make the sale, right? That's stressful to me. I can't be in that energy. That just that comes across like it's all or nothing, right? And talk about living in the moment. It's very. I don't want to run a business like that.
Yeah. I mean, I can totally relate to that. And thank you for sharing your story about, you being not so comfortable about showing up on social media, like it feels weird sometimes, talking in front of the camera and you're alone and you don't even know what people are gonna think about, your
Right.
video once you post it. But in reality, we don't really need to like think about other people's opinion. But in
Exactly.
reality as well, it affects us, right? No matter how
Right.
much we say, "Oh, I don't care about your opinion," you're only saying that, but deep inside your heart, you're already affected. And so
Right.
I appreciate you so much for just being true to yourself, because showing up on social media, you know, taking photos of yourself or filming yourself, it's not something that is for everyone. There is
Right.
no such thing as everybody as anybody can do what everybody can do, we have our
Exactly.
own strengths and weaknesses. And
Right.
especially if you have a very introverted personality, it's gonna be
Mhm.
harder for
Yeah.
you to show up on social media. And that is why SEO is a great way for you to use as a marketing tool in order for you to get more leads without forcing yourself to show up on social media and dance on TikTok or Reels, because not
Yeah.
everybody is comfortable doing that, right?
No.
Um,
No.
especially, I feel like I mean, I'm still young, like I am a millennial. And so I feel like Gen Z and millennials, they can do all those kind of stuff, like dancing because it's part of our generation. But
Sure.
the generation before that, not I'm not judging them or putting them
Right.
down, but most people who are in those generations, they don't feel comfortable because they are not used to that, and
Right.
so this is a great way, if you are listening to this episode, this is my encouragement to you that you don't have to do what everybody else is doing. You have to be you, you have to respect what you can do and what you cannot do. Just like Linda right here, so
Yeah.
she knows that she's not, that comfortable showing up online, maybe posting a lot of videos online because it takes a lot of time
Yeah.
and energy as well, right?
It takes a
and
ton of
resources.
time.
You have to buy your own equipment, right? You cannot
Right.
just post a video online and the quality is crappy. It has to be good quality as well. And so I believe in what you're doing, Linda, that SEO is a best tool out there. And even if you are comfortable showing up online, you still need to have SEO as part of your marketing strategy because this is long term.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure not everyone is familiar with SEO. So I'll have you explain what exactly SEO is. I mean, you kind of mentioned
Yeah.
about keywords already, but
Yeah.
SEO, what exactly is SEO?
Yeah. So I guess the best way I'm going to explain it, and what really got me excited and dialed into it, is the day that I decided that, I had been working as um, I have been a freelance website designer. I have been a graphic design, um, you know, consultant, all of these different things, right? And what one day I realized, when I was like, after I did my taxes, right? And I went, oh yeah, I made all this great money. Oh, and I also had all these expenses. And so I'm really not making any money. Something has to change. And so I decided, you know what? I am never going to get ahead if I'm the one doing all the work. I need to build a team. So I went out and I interviewed and hired 3 virtual assistants in one day. Every
Wow.
didn't I didn't plan on it. I just happened to like all 3 of them. And all 3 of them had very different skill sets. And one of them was really good on Pinterest. And so what she did is she took all of my blog posts, all of my lead magnets, and she put them on Pinterest. And all of a sudden, I started seeing hundreds of people showing up to my website. And I was like, whoa, what the heck is going on here? Right. Well, if you use Pinterest properly, strategically, you can actually drive a lot of traffic to your website so that people get eyes on it. And that does 2 things. One is it increases your Google rankings, right? Which everybody wants to be found on Google. So even if they click over to your site and they go, oh, this is not for me, and they click back off, too late. They already helped you. They already
Yeah.
helped you get that traffic, right? Secondly, it increases the chances of somebody new finding you, being familiar with what you do. Even if they don't need your service, but now they know about your service, they might be able to refer somebody else. You don't know, right? So I decided to dive in a lot further with Pinterest. And then that was actually my very first marketing service, which is called Pin to Win. And it is a total full concierge service where we create their Pinterest account and we take all of their content, turn them into beautiful pins, get them scheduled, and really gain that momentum for them. And so, like right now, my audience reach is over 2 million. And
Wow.
that's just because of my content being shared on Pinterest.
That is awesome. And like what they say, Pinterest is not really a social media platform
No,
like Instagram or Facebook. It's a search engine tool, just like Google,
it
right?
is. It is the 3rd largest search engine. And when used properly and as a search engine, you can have great results from that. And what I love the most about that is, first of all, you're turning your content into evergreen, meaning it lives forever. It's timeless. And second of all, you basically can schedule all of this out on autopilot. So all of this is happening for you while you're going about your business, helping your clients or doing whatever it is that you do, right? Go to the beach.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Pinterest is one of your secrets, when it comes
Yeah,
to getting visibility online.
right,
What
right.
do you think is the difference between just using Instagram as compared to using Pinterest?
Oh, night and day. So I don't know what the current statistic is for Instagram, but I can tell you for Facebook, your typical post has a shelf life of about 4 hours. Now, on Pinterest, it's there forever and new people find it all the time. And so it's just, I mean, there's no comparison.
Yeah.
It's just they're in two different ballparks. And it's because that is Pinterest is a search engine. Same with YouTube. YouTube is another one that we use heavily, which is the second largest search engine
Mm-hmm.
platform.
Yeah.
And what we do, a lot of my clients come to me and they will have a ton of Facebook lives that they've done, on Facebook or even Instagram. But what we do is we take those replays and we edit them, make them beautiful, build up their YouTube channel, apply SEO to it, which means the keywords where people are actually going to find it. And then we start getting them that SEO from YouTube. And of course, we make a pin to it
Yep.
because
Mm-hmm.
we're going to double, right? Double
Yeah.
whammy with the search engine. So yeah, we love doing that. It turns
And do
out
you
so
think
good.
this is something, because when you think about SEO, other people only think about, okay, Google, just post a content and write a 500 word article every week, make sure you have the keywords in there, and then that's it. But they don't realize that Pinterest and also YouTube, they're both critical, when it comes to
Mhm.
getting,
Because that's where
more
people
visibility
go.
online. Yeah.
That's
So
yeah.
do you think a business owner alone can do all of that?
They can if they have the know-how. But what I find is a lot of my clients, they're already having success. No matter what strategy they used, right, to build their business, they're already having success. And now they really basically want to throw gasoline on that fire, right? They want to, some people say they want to upscale, you
Mhm.
know? To me, it's like, no, just turn up the heat because you got something that's working. And now let's get you set up for, you don't have to keep writing new content. You already have great content. Let's just get it out there on search engine platforms so that it's continually working for you behind the scenes. So you don't have to do more work. So that's exactly what my team does.
I love that.
Are you sick and tired of being overwhelmed and afraid you'll never scale your business? Meet Smart VAs. Unlike many virtual assistant agencies that only assign one dedicated virtual assistant, we provide flexibility for growing businesses by assigning a team of experienced virtual assistants that can do different tasks to support your continuous growth. Visit smartvas.online to book a free discovery call and start growing your business.
And you mentioned earlier that you hired 3 VAs in just a day. And I also know that your online business did not take off until you built your own team. Tell me
Yeah.
about that. What was it like when you didn't have your team, and what is it like now that you have your own team?
Yeah, it's night and day. I love it. What's funny is, it took me a while, like first day that I hired those 3 VAs, and I really had to think about prioritizing what do I want to do in my business? What don't I want to do?
Mhm.
What can I actually teach somebody? Because what people don't realize is when you have a virtual assistant that you bring on, they are not your coach, they're not your strategist. They are task oriented. And so you need to provide them with those tasks. You also are going to get out of it what you put into it, meaning you have to be a great communicator. So you need to communicate, this is what I want. You have to like really set the expectations, right? And I love doing that anyways. I come from, 25 years in corporate IT. So and the company I worked for was like really big on processes and procedures. So I'm super comfortable thinking that way, right? So I understood that when I brought them on. I had to basically put all of that in place. But the benefits are amazing because, first of all, I view my team members as equals, right? We are all just trying to make a living.
Yep.
And so, I really try, my job is really to support them and give them excellent communication so that they can do a really good job for me. Because anything they do, they're like behind the scenes. Anything they do really is a representation of me. And
Yeah.
so that's like, it's hard if you're a control freak, right? But there are some nuances. But what happened is, so I hired those three, and one of them I was able to outsource her to another, like, subcontractor out to another business, and that worked out really well. She worked with them for about a year, and so that was like automatic little income there for me, like by outsourcing her. And then that's when I thought, you know what? I think I could just do a VA agency. So I started doing that, right?
Yeah.
So I had up to 10 people that I was putting out to various clients. But I decided that it wasn't for me because I always felt like I had to educate the client on what the virtual assistant could do and couldn't do. I had to like pull out of them, the communication so that we could do a really good job. And it just, I always felt like they wanted something for nothing, right? And I thought, no, I need to upscale my clientele. How am I going to do that? And what are my services going to be? And around that same time is when I had developed the Pin to Win services.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, let me lean more into the SEO and marketing. And so I basically let my retainer clients go, let go of some of my VAs. And today I have a team of 6, and they work like a fine oiled machine. One of them is an online business manager who basically is overseeing everything they do, so that I don't have to. We
Mm-hmm.
have all the SOPs in place, and meaning we have all the standard operating procedures. So they have something to fall back on. They have videos they can watch, and they have direct access to myself.
Yeah. That is
Um,
awesome. Wow. I love that you mentioned that VAs are task oriented individuals. You can't really expect them to coach you and tell you what you should be doing and what they should be doing, because virtual assistants, they are only as good as your instructions. So if you don't give
yes.
them complete and clear instructions, they won't be able to give you the results that you want to get. And so when it comes to tapping into the power of leadership, what do you think is the importance of that when it comes to running a business?
Well, I think the most important is treating people the way you want to be treated. I mean, I treat my team members like I treat my clients and how I would want to be treated. They're very important to me and to my business. And they know that. I make sure and tell them. I truly believe in giving them the tools. Like if they are interested, I have some people obviously that specialize in Pinterest, or they specialize in, SEO in general. Um, I provide them with training that I
Mm-hmm.
think would be, they would be interested in. I want to see them grow, and really, I want them to like their job, right? And so if there's any issues or they're being treated disrespectfully, which I really don't have that in my business, but back when I had a VA agency, there were some times that I had
Yeah.
to intervene.
Yeah.
You've got to be there and be supportive of your team. You have to. It's
Yeah.
so important. So to me, it's a combination of really treating them with the same respect you would want, and hopefully making it a win-win situation.
hmm So I have met a lot of business owners or entrepreneurs who had virtual assistants, but it didn't work out the way how they wanted, and for some reason they tend to blame everything on their virtual assistants. I think they
Yes,
don't have the understanding that when you hire someone, you gotta train that person, you gotta support that person. Now, like I always say, if you have a brick and mortar business, like if for instance if you own McDonald's, if you hire people to serve your customers, you gotta train that person, right? You don't
right.
expect that person to know on the first day of work what exactly that person needs to do, and so you gotta train and support your team member. And so what do you think is the disconnect there? Like, where is the disconnect? Like, why do you think some
Mhm.
other business owners think like, okay, I'm gonna hire a VA and then poof, I'm gonna have success tomorrow. They will save my
Yes.
business.
Well, I think it's a combination of things. I think nowadays, how a lot of people refer to the online space as the wild, wild west,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's probably because people are out there, they're hustling, they're trying to build their business. They're always in a hurry. They lack patience, and they don't have a good understanding of like what a virtual assistant is um, supposed to do and not do, right? Like they always seem to push for them to do more and more and more and more. Good example is one of my services. Because we do a lot of repurposing of their content, we do not though write their copy, but
Mm-hmm.
we will edit it, but we will not write copy for them for scratch. But they think because we do all these other things, like we'll do like let's say they have a sales page they want done, right? Yeah, we will get that designed on your website for you, but we're doing the design, we're not doing the copywriting. And so then it's like the client, they just don't know what they don't know, right? So unfortunately, you have to um, pick up on that, very politely educate them, communicate. Communication is everything, so that they know that. And sometimes a VA, they'll come in and let's say you're a solo VA, you're not under an agency and you're just working directly with some clients. You will 9 times out of 10 always do way above and beyond just the task that you
Mm-hmm.
really meant to be hired for. And for instance, they will, because again, some clients, they'll be really easy to talk to, right? And so you feel like you've got this great friendship, this great rapport. And so then the solo entrepreneur who doesn't have too many people to talk to, right? She's in her office by herself. And so she will ask the advice and the opinions of the virtual assistant. And, just like in chatting. But what she doesn't realize is that even if the best VA, right? It's like that's not their job, right? And you're doing yourself a disservice anyways if it's like you're kind of like cheaping out and you don't want to hire a coach.
Yeah.
And not only that, but there's a zillion ways to accomplish the same thing. There's all those different strategies out there. How do you know that's the right one for you? And why are you working on 3 different strategies all at the same time when a coach would tell you just focus on one thing at a time,
Right.
right? And
Exactly.
master it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love everything that you said. I think it's just a matter of really communicating w- your expectations, what you can and what you cannot do. And if there is something that your virtual assistant cannot do for you, don't force that person to do something that they are not
Yeah.
comfortable doing.
And
Because
I
if you
would
do,
encourage, yeah, sorry.
go ahead.
Um, I would encourage the virtual assistants out there to really be confident in how you represent yourself
Mm-hmm.
to the next potential client and set up those boundaries. Make sure you communicate in a very nice way. But this is, I do this and this and this. I do not do this and this and this.
Right.
Right?
If it's necessary, you can create your own do's and don'ts. I can only do this, I cannot do this. So I think that is very crucial, when it comes to communicating what you can and what you cannot do, and you have to be very, very clear, because if
Yeah.
not, your relationship is going to be tainted. So
Yeah.
what is your advice to entrepreneurs who are still not delegating?
Well, I guess I would ask them, first of all, why did they get into business to begin with? What's their vision of how they want their day-to-day business time to be spent? Because seriously, once I was able to free up my time from doing all the tasks myself, and I was able to delegate, that frees me up to do what my real job is, which is to continually market my business. My job, the way I see it, is to bring in new clients. That
That's
is my
awesome.
job.
Hmm.
And I wouldn't have time to do that if I was doing all those other tasks.
Right, exactly. It's gonna be so hard
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we only have 24 hours a day, and we don't even work
Yeah.
24 hours a day. We only work maybe between 8 to 12, depending on how much time you want to work a day. And so I totally agree with what you said. If you want to grow your business, if you want to get more clients, then you focus on getting more clients, and the rest you can pass it on to other people.
Yeah. And the thing is, there are agencies like mine where I already have the team that's going to do all the support for you,
Yeah.
and like our package includes maintaining their website, applying SEO, to it all the time. And then doing all of that repurposing, all the graphic design. So it really, our service is so bundled in a way where it literally like replaces a lot of independent VAs, right? That they
Yeah.
would, and then they don't have to do all that communicating because they only work just directly with me.
Yeah. That is
And then
awesome.
they're getting the benefit of my years of business and strategies, what works, what doesn't. And that's really what the huge difference is for my clients. So yeah, you don't have to have a team of your own, but you need a team in some way, right?
Yeah. Yeah, regardless if you're gonna outsource this to an agency, or if you're gonna hire somebody to add to your team, do what it takes, for you to scale your business. So,
Yeah.
where can people find you online, Linda? And please share any freebies you have or any kind of promotions you have.
Yeah. So people can find me at lindabarutha.com, which I'm sure you'll have the link available for them. And on my website, you will see near the bottom of the homepage, there is an offer to take a quiz called Online Visibility Ranking. And what I love about that is that when you take that quiz, you're going to be able to get specific results that tell you and give you insight on what your next steps are in starting to use SEO in your business.
Awesome. I will include your link in the show notes. Thank you so much for your time today, Linda. I enjoyed our conversation and I appreciate all the value that you brought to the episode or to the
Thank
show.
you. Thanks for having me, Kristy.
You're welcome.